Anyhow, I need to make some other videos on other stuff like bearing good fruit and such. It's a sermon that I was working on. I've got a few different sermons that I've got that I was working on that I haven't finished because I guess it's just not time for me to have finished them yet. Is the best I can figure. Is that when the time comes will be when it is that it's meant to be. That I can't rush things. That if I rush, like, yeah, it is. God works in such amazing ways that He makes sure that nothing ever happens out of line with the time that He has planned for it to happen. Everything that happens happens for a reason, and it happens when it's supposed to happen. We go through the different things that we go through because of the fact that we're meant to go through them so that we can be able to be who we were meant to be. It sounds kind of cruel at times when you consider the ramifications of that, when you consider the type of people who react in negative ways to certain things that happen to them, and as a result they lash out in such a way that is deemed to be evil and everything. You just say, well, God caused them to do that. Well, not exactly. I mean, but sort of. But not exactly. It's just one of those things. It's like He already knows ahead of time who I was going to react in what ways to what things, and so like He plans around that. One of the things with predestination and stuff that I've always had issues with is that I understand that everything is meant to happen, that it's going to happen, that it already technically has happened, and that we're just living through it because God already knows everything that's going to ever happen. The future, He already knows the past because it's already happened. He knows everything that's going on currently. So if He already knows the future, then that means that the future has already happened, which means that we are just living through the events that led up to now. And that led up through to the present that is in the future that we are not in yet. Theoretical physics is a pain in the butt. But anyhow, so like, since everything that's ever happened has already happened, then there's nothing that we can do to be able to change what it is that happened. That everything that we can do, the only thing that we could possibly do is what was already preordained would happen. Like, you could sit there and say, well, I'm going to do something completely different, and then have it sit you do it, and you'll be wrong. Because that right there will have been what had always happened. Like, your reaction to the idea that you could possibly change the way things happened. There's nothing you can do. You can be like, I'm going to do something completely different, and then slap yourself in the face. No, you always did that. That was always what had happened. And that being said, I mean, predestination, like I was saying, is like, it's the philosophical aspects of physics, of theoretical physics, and all that is quite a conundrum, quite a headache at times. Like, but at the same time, I mean, I made conclusions about all of this, or most of these conclusions that I just said back whenever I was like 6 or 7. I think I might have been 7. I don't think I was 6 still. Whenever I was like talking to my brothers after we had been taken into state custody, and we had been watching something to do with time travel. I don't know if it was Back to the Future, or if it was Doctor Who, or if it was on an episode of like Star Trek or something where they had like the Next Generation or whatever, where they had some time travel, or maybe Star Trek 4, or whichever one it is, where they went back into the past to save the whales or whatever. I don't know. I think it was 4. But I was like, let's go ahead and get something straight, squared away between all of us right quick. And they were like, what? I was like, time travel is impossible. There's no point in us ever wasting our time and efforts on trying to be able to make any kind of a time machine to be able to go back and change the past. Because I've been dwelling on what had happened in my own personal life, which, if you want to know further details on that, I guess you could look at my testimony video if it's still available on my one channel. I had been dwelling a lot on what it was that had happened up to that point, and sitting there thinking, man, I wish that we had a time machine, because like, if we had a time machine, then we could be able to go back into the past and change it. And I was like, no, we can't. It's impossible for you to change the past. It's basically impossible for you to change the future. All you could do is live through stuff. You can't really do anything to change the past or to change the future. All you can do is what you're already always meant to do. And everything that's happened is things that's always already happened. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. That there's nothing that can be done to change it from having happened, because if that were the case, then it wouldn't have happened the way that you remember it, and it would be different. So there's nothing that you can do to change the past, and there's nothing that you can really do to change the future. All you can do is hope for the best that you're doing what is meant to be done for you to be able to go down the right path into the future. And always strive to do the best that you can and be the best that you can. But that is nothing that you can do to change the past, especially. And everything that's happening in the present is what is meant to happen in the present. That the events that will happen in the future are already set into motion by the events of the past and of the present. That everything will happen the way that it's meant to happen. That if you can say, oh, I changed the future by having it said that I jumped in front of a bullet and saved this one woman's life. No, you didn't. You were always meant to jump in front of that bullet to be able to save that woman's life. Or whatever the thing might have been that you feel might have changed the future. That is, you didn't change the future. You just did what you were always meant to do. That's the reason why it was that you went through what you had went through, that made it so you were led to make the decision to do the thing which you did in response to other things. Anybody else starting to smell copper burning? Or no. It's something that if you think on it too much, I don't know, it make you feel like almost like you're having a stroke or something. I don't know. It's the reason why I don't like to deal too much in philosophy. It's better to just go ahead and do the best that you can to be the best that you can, and always try to treat others with as much kindness as you can, so that you know that at the end of the day you did what you felt in your heart to be right. Don't try to cheat people out of anything. Don't try to do wrong towards other people. Don't try to mislead people, lead them astray. Do not try to take advantage of people. Just have it set, because God forbid that they would take advantage of you. You wouldn't want that, would you? So you always do right by others. Always treat each other with kindness, and hope for the best, and hope that you're doing the best. That's always been my philosophy, is to just do what you can. Where was I going with all that? It's just that time travel is impossible. I guess that's where I was going with all of that. Oh yeah, predestination. That we're all meant to go where we're at. Like it's way that things have always been. It's the way they always will be. That's the way that God made things. And like, so the whole question of whether or not somebody can really technically be considered as doing something that's evil, it is debatable at times. Like, I that's one of the things that I have the most issue with as of late, with accepting these things, that things happen that they always were meant to happen and all of that. Because I know that it also says that many will be called but few are chosen. So that means that, like, there will be a lot of people that will be feel like they've been called to be able to be good and that they're worthy of heaven. But there will be few that will actually be chosen to be worthy of heaven, that will be deemed worthy of being in heaven. So, like, there comes the question of duty and obligation and following what it is that you were meant to do. Now, if you were meant to be some kind of a butcher that massacred a whole bunch of different people and such, and you do it, like, y'all understand where I'm going with this? Did you do wrong by doing what you were led to do? I'm gonna say yes. But I mean, because I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh yeah, you know, if you feel like you should possibly do this, then maybe you should do it. But that's not what I'm saying. Like, because I think everybody should always try to be as good as they can be, and to do as much good as they can. What I'm saying though is that this is one of these philosophical questions that I've had lately. Of like, yeah, I've always done my best to do right, and I have an intense fear of doing wrong. Like, just whenever I am doing anything that might be slightly wrong or whatever, you know, it's terrifying for me. So I mean, I don't know how people can intentionally go and do wrong, knowing that it's wrong for them to do what it is that they're doing, continue to do it, and not even and act like they're not doing anything wrong. Like, no, I can't do people wrong. I be having people all the time want me to come work on stuff for them and do stuff for them that they can't do, that they don't know how to do, or they can't physically do it. And rather than being like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this for you for this price right here because you're not able to do it, I'm not gonna do that to them. Look, I understand that you're in a bad situation. You're not financially able to pay somebody else to do this either, because otherwise you wouldn't be calling me to do it. Considering the fact you know that I know how to do it, but that doesn't mean that I'm an expert at it or anything. But yet and still, you're so down on your luck that you feel like you have to save that money to have it so you get me to do it. So why would I want to charge you even half as much as somebody like that whenever you're clearly in a bad spot yourself right now? So I'm gonna do what I can to do right and make sure that you aren't in a bad spot due to my efforts, or not in any worse of a spot due to my efforts. I'm going to do my best to be able to go ahead and get fixed for you whatever it is that you need to have fixed, so that you won't be in this bad spot anymore, and so you could be able to get to a better spot, a better position. But like, some people, they'll be doing quite well already, and they'll see other people in need, and rather than, like, they're in a lot worse spot than they are in, and they'll be like, this is a chance for me to be able to get into an even better spot than I already am. A chance for me to be able to take from this person right here, this particular thing, in reward for my minor action that I am doing. Oh, I don't understand how people could be like that. I don't know if it's narcissism where they think that they're worth so much more than they actually are worth, and that's what leads them to do the things that they do, or if it's just like if it's greed that makes them feel like they've got to have something more than what they have, or what. I don't know. I've always been more of a pious type person. I've always tried to have as little as is required to be able to try to make do with what I have available without going beyond um what is normal for someone. I don't know. I've always been easily satisfied with very little of actual material possession, because of the fact that I never had much. When I was growing up, I never had much, so I always was happy whenever I had a little. Back to the whole philosophical issues of like doing wrong versus doing right and all that. Like, why would anyone want to do wrong to others if it means that there's a possibility that wrong is going to be done back to them in turn for what they have done to others? I'd rather have it said that I do right by others than have it said wrong is done back to me, and know that at least it wasn't my fault that that wrong was done to me, that I'm in the clear, that it's on them that that wrong has been done to me, than to have it said that I do wrong to others, and then whenever I get wronged back, then it'd be like, well, I deserved it. I don't know. There you have it for a excerpt of me rambling on about the nature of time, predestination, and other philosophical topics along those lines. I get lost in thoughts sometimes. These are just like random thoughts that I have from time to time. Like I have different thoughts on all kinds of different things. I don't know. I just felt like it wouldn't be appropriate to share that video in its entirety, as I did cut some stuff out of there that I didn't feel was appropriate. Some things that I felt was too on the nose, I guess, too hitting the nail on the head, too directed at specific people and stuff. So I decided to leave that out, because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to target them or to be cruel or anything towards them or anything. I do what I do and I say what I say out of love, and that's what I always will do, and I always will be, is the type of person who will try his best to be able to do as much good for others as I can, not to tear people down but to lift them up. And so I don't know, maybe this can help you to be able to understand that it is what it is. Life is what it is. There's nothing much that we can do to worry about the past. That it serves no purpose to worry about it, because all it'll do is just leave us down in the future, and in the present leave us feeling in a way that isn't very productive. That it's better that we just go ahead and let the past be the past, and look to the future with good intent, as I have made clear in this video, and that we try to live our life for the best that we can, and try to help others, serve others, and just be good people, or try our best to be good people. We're none of us are good, but we can try. And that's all we can really do, is to try our best to be as good as we can. And just felt like I wanted to put this video out here after I just got done at church earlier, and that one of the main topics of church was letting the past be the past, and about predestination, and about that God put us here where we are right now for this very purpose that we are in right this moment. That's always the case. All we can do is live towards the future and experience it as it comes. I thought this could be a blessing to someone out there, that it could be able to help them, to reassure them. If y'all anyone to, or yeah, make sure that y'all read your Bible every day. If you need someone to read the Bible for you, you can check out my series, Chapter a Day to Keep the Devil at Bay, where I'll read a chapter of the Bible each day from the New Living Translation. And there's other sources out here on YouTube, which I've previously mentioned, but anyhow, I'm sure you can find somebody to read the Bible for you if you don't like listen to me read it. I'm trying to get better about doing it. More, I don't know. I'm trying to work. I have a difficult accent to listen to as it is. For another thing, I have trouble talking sometimes, like whenever it comes to like reading important things such as the Bible. But I mean, it's more important that I get the word out there than to have it so that I stress too much about uh, what other people think about how I get the word out there. So it is what it is. I'm gonna do what I can, and if you feel like it might be a help to you, check it out. Yeah. Until next time, God bless y'all. Y'all take it easy.